Oh, I wasn't even recording there. Just for historic purposes, the first number we calculated that converges to 240 is 54. 54 love, that was what was going through my mind. That's why this document is called 54 love. God is love. God is equals 54. Love equals 54. And that is the first number that I calculated, and it hits 240 right there, and then it enters the loop. 216 comes next, then 228, my full birth name, then 288, then 255, and then 240 again. And now there we loop. There we loop infinitely, around and around, 240. And you'll notice that two of the numbers go below 240, and then two of the numbers go higher than 240. So that it's all bouncing around 240. So 240 is the center of the universe. That is what all numbers and all words and all phrases and all thoughts in the history of the universe deduce to. 240. 888 to the glory of Jesus equals 8. And just for historic purposes, 54 was the very first number that I realized that on. And 54 equals love. God is love. And then just for, the orders for historic purposes, this entire document, the order that I was getting my flow of thoughts in, other words, numbers coming through my mind, I jumped to my favorite words, God, which instantly jumps to 216, which then enters the loop. Holy, famous 60, sure enough, hits 240 in a beautiful convergence fashion. When you plot these things on a graph and connect the dots, I'm sure you'll see some beautiful convergence patterns. Like artistically so. When you connect them with smooth curves, I'll bet you it'll be beautiful. This will be very fascinating. Like to plot these points on a graph with smooth blending of the lines between them. So there's like this beautiful artistic convergence shown. And then I started doing, so I did 60, then I jumped to the famous number 27, which is the perfect cube of 3, and sure enough, it converged to 240. Then I jumped to 3 itself, okay? And yes, okay, that jump hits 216, which is the loop, which goes to 240. And then I started doing the numbers in order with the number 1, okay, 240. And then we got the word converge, and the word convergence, and converging. That all divide by 3, starting with C, which is 3. Okay, and it was we're like, everything is converging to 240. And then we did the number 2. And then we did the number 4, and every one of them is converging to 240. The number 5, the number 6, number 7, number 8, number 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. And then I just stopped at 13, said to do. My last name, QB39, converges. Then I picked the number 100. Sure enough, it converges. Hitting worship along the way. Then number 1000, yes, it converges. Then 999, yes, it converges. Then the famous 888, yes, it converges. Then 888, as I speak it, yes, it converges. Then the famous phrase, Jesus is 888, yes, Jesus equals 888, yes, it converges. 74, which equals Jesus, equals Messiah in English, yes, it converges. And then just 100 trillion, of course. Now everything is converging, everything you've ever spoken. 200 million, this was really cool. The largest number in the Bible hits 216 perfectly. Instantly, okay. 0, okay, of course, yes, it converges. Infinity, there's a big one. Yes, it converges to 240. And then this was one of the first, large strings of numbers, and yes, these both converge because it just converges to 240. No matter what text you write, it'll converge to 240, and that is where we stop. But for historic purposes, the very first number that I calculated this on was the famous 54. Love equals 54. And so it's this simple, folks. Here's our instant calculator. You click whatever text you want, right-click the mouse button, and it pops up the number and then it pops up what that adds to, and then you just keep going down the pipe until you hit a loop, which is 240. There you go. So for historic purposes, this is the first number that this was ever discovered on was 54, which equals love. God is love. And then my favorite word, God, okay? We did that very next after that. Then holy equals 60. And then 27, perfect cube of 3. Then 3 itself. And then we started doing the digits in order. Amen equals 33.